Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Fish and Rice Stories from Japan. I'm Toby.
I'm Andri.
And today we have a new guest on the show, Winz. Thank you very much for coming.
Hello, everyone.
Winz, you're a musician, and we're here to talk about your musical journey here in Japan.
Right.
But maybe you could introduce yourself a little bit to our listeners first.
Oh, okay. Well, my name is Winz, and I'm from California. And I've pretty much traveled around many countries performing. When I was in California, I was basically with many different bands. I started out as a DJ, and that's what got me.
So from DJ into the musical world.
Right.
And where has this journey taken you before coming to Japan?
Oh, let's see. When I first left California, I went to Guam for 1 month, performed there with a band, and then left there, went back to America, and later on, I had an opportunity to go to Finland.
Finland, of all places. Very nice.
Yes, I said the same thing.
We have a Finnish coworker sitting just right behind us, right there, and she might be excited to hear about this. Whereabouts in Finland have you been?
Well, I first went to Helsinki. I was there for 2 weeks in Helsinki. Then after that, I went to another smaller city, was called Turku.
Okay, in the west coast, is that correct?
Yes, Turku. And I stayed there for 2 weeks as well. Yeah. Actually,
nice.
The first night I arrived, I think it was Elton John was performing in Helsinki. So everybody was really excited about that. So we didn't really have an audience that night.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to overshadow Elton John.
Yeah.
And so how long have you been in Japan now?
Well, let's see. I've been in Japan, I would say close to, it's probably close to 20 years now. Yeah.
That's quite a long time.
Yeah.
Always around, you're based in Kobe now?
I'm in Kobe now, yes.
Always Kobe?
But my home is in Nagoya.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why these choices? Why Nagoya? Why Kobe?
Well, when I first came to Japan, I was in Kagoshima.
Okay.
And in Kagoshima, I stayed for about 6 months. Then I went to Yokohama after that. My time in Kagoshima was quite interesting because it allowed me to write many songs because it was just really, really laid back. I was coming from Singapore, so it's like I was in the city on the main street, which is called Orchard Road. So that's like you could
downtown
say like
business district.
Yeah, you could say it's like Ginza, I guess you could say.
Ginza in Tokyo.
Yeah. So coming from there and now going to Kagoshima.
Southern tip of Kyushu,
Yes.
Very countryside of Japan, laid back.
Right. So I kicked up my feet and I wrote songs.
Very nice.
Yeah.
What kind of music have you been writing there?
Well, I write a variety of songs. I did a movie about a year ago. And the movie, I wrote the songs in the movie. And the movie was basically me being a ghost. And I was met in the church by a biracial child who was Italian and half Japanese.
Okay.
And he was having problems in school because he was biracial. And he really liked R&B music. So I was cast as his mentor in the movie. And I was educating him on dealing with racism and how to overcome and how to find himself. So the songs that I was writing at the time were based on the scenes. So my first scene in the movie is me in the church. It's because the director really liked gospel music.
Interesting.
Yes.
Is the director Japanese?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, I can imagine gospel music here in Japan not so popular. More like very American, maybe southern US, I would guess.
Yes.
So this kind of musical movie came from your time in Kagoshima, where you started writing the songs?
No, it didn't come from my time in Kagoshima.
Okay.
That was previously, but a lot of those songs I used in this because basically the context of those songs was more dealing with, self-discovery.
I think
discovering, he wanted to discover who he was. So I was really looking to bring songs to the movie that were going to be memorable, that were going to outlive the time.
Where can we see the movie? Sorry.
It's actually an indie movie. It was actually recorded for a school project, Kobe University. And we actually got an award for the movie too.
Wow.
Really nice. Congratulations.
Film movie. Thank you.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah. Okay, I will send it to you.
Very kind.
It's not available on Netflix or anything like that, but I would like to.
It's on DVD, right?
No, it's not on DVD. No.
Wow.
The director is now in Canada studying English.
Okay, awesome.
So, yeah.
What is the name?
It's called Soul Man.
Soul Man.
Soul Man, yes. Yes.
Looking forward to watching.
Yes.
So your
it's pretty
musical
interesting.
journey led to movie making. It started from living in Kagoshima, moving to Yokohama, and then settling in Nagoya, but now being based in Kobe. Am I so far correct?
Roundabout.
Yeah?
Roundabout.
Yeah?
Yeah, roundabout.
So all around Japan.
Yeah. I actually went from Kagoshima to Yokohama. Then I went to Nagoya. And then I went back to Yokohama because that seemed to be two places that I went to that they like, please come back. We like what you're doing, we like your entertainment, please come back. So I went between those two, and in a portion of that time, I had a chance to come to Kobe at one time. So then I came to Kobe, and then after my stint in Kobe, I went back to Nagoya. So I seemed to be actually happened to be between Tokyo and Osaka, which was Nagoya. So that's how I kind of settled into Nagoya area, because it was actually in between. It allowed me to go this way and go that way and come back in the center, and it was cool.
So now you work in those areas as a musician. What exactly do you do in music?
Now?
Yes.
Now I'm based in Kobe.
Oh, now based in
now
Kobe.
Based in Kobe. Yeah.
And you write songs, contribute to movies.
Yes.
These are your principal activities, or do you also perform in concerts with bands? Or
yes, I perform as well. I'm actually doing a nightly, 5-night-a-week
wow,
event in
busy.
Kobe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where can we find you in
called
Kobe?
Garage Paradise.
Okay,
Yes.
we'll have to stop by there one
Yes.
night. Yeah.
Come on out.
I've been there a few
Yeah.
times. It's a really nice place.
Yeah.
Really, really
Alright,
nice
I'll
place.
ask for the
Underrated.
address later.
We've sang many songs.
I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to listening to
serenaded.
you.
No problem. Anytime.
I'm curious now, because you've had quite a long musical journey, a lot of experience here in Japan. But when you first came, what was your first impression of the musical scene here? Is it something you had expected? Is it very different from what you were familiar with back in the States? Or what was like the first contact you had with the music scene here?
Well, my time in Singapore when I was there, I had a chance to work with a number of the musicians, local musicians. And the local musicians that I worked with were more detailed as far as the music is concerned. They would read music or write charts. And I kind of had somewhat of an idea of what it would be when I came to Japan, but I didn't know it was as detailed.
I see.
A lot of the musicians that I work with, they write out the notes of the music, or they write charts for the music, and they'll pretty much depend on the charts. In America, we're learning by ear, and we don't write anything down. We might write the lyrics down until we learn it, but otherwise, all that's gone.
So in America, you would maybe play the songs or the sounds that come to your mind on guitar, on piano, or a beat on the drums, and kind of see what feels right, and then just try to go with that. Whereas here, they will actually just go by the books and write down all the notes, and then kind of see if they can adjust. Is that how am I understanding?
Yeah, you're right. As original music, we're always just coming up with ideas for original music.
Yes.
Because basically it's just what you feel, what you hear. But as far as a recorded song that you're learning, therefore it's more detailed here in Japan or in Asia. They'll write out the charts and use the charts. We basically just learn everything by ear.
I see.
Yeah.
And coming here then now as a foreigner settling into Japan in this new culture, social culture, but also musical culture, how was it to kind of integrate yourself? Were there challenges to come in from the outside, so to say, and integrate, or is it more like a community and industry that was very welcoming and open to something new, a different approach to music, a different approach to working with sound and communicate emotions?
Well, when I first arrived, I was actually just a solo artist because I had a friend who was in Singapore and he was from Atlanta, and he introduced me to an agent here. The agent was in Yokohama, and I just came as a solo artist, so I was just using backing tracks. When I went to Nagoya, I went to a venue that actually had a live band, 7 nights a week live band, and a lot of the musicians were from many parts of America, many different states.
Wow.
And this is the first time I actually had this kind of interaction with Americans from other states as far as musicians are concerned. Because mostly in California, I was just dealing with mostly Californians. So
very international, actually, coming here with the image of Japan being maybe more one culture and not so many people from the outside. You arrived here in a field that was just the complete opposite.
Right.
People from all over the world gathered around music. Basically.
Right. And basically having the opportunity to meet a lot of the artists that I grew up listening to.
Oh, really?
In Japan,
for
yes.
example?
So just for Japan, I mean, for example, like SOS Band. I don't know if you know who they are. They were very popular in the 80s, 90s in America. One of the founding members I met here in Nagoya.
Really nice.
And also from another band I met in Nagoya, and then also Tokyo, and Earth, Wind and Fire.
Earth and Fire, that's a name that rings a bell.
Yes.
Yeah.
September, Groove Tonight.
We had an episode a few weeks back where we talked about the popularity of idols here in Japan. What was it for you then, kind of coming here, maybe not idols, but meeting people that you listened to music from, or that you thought, oh, they are awesome, they're doing cool stuff, and now I'm meeting them. What kind of experience was this for you?
It was quite breathtaking, because you never expect, or you never think that you would actually meet these people in person, or you'd be sitting across talking to them. And I met Tom Jones when I was in Las Vegas, because we would always meet various artists in Las Vegas, especially at night, because they were all out mingling. And Singapore, I met Richard Branson, sitting and talking to him, just like
touching the stars.
Yeah, just like we're talking now. Sade, I mean, there's been so many, that have had the chance. But like I said, I guess it was when you go into something, you really have aspirations to get to this point, but you never think that it will actually materialize. And then when it does, you have that aha moment.
Is that a moment where you feel like, I'm a musician, I'm in this world now, I'm like,
I've gravitated to something that, I kind of had a vision that I could, but then again, you had that second thought of, is it possible?
Is this real?
Yeah, is it real? Yeah.
So for you coming over as a solo artist to Japan and now working with many people across the country and doing a lot of things, how did you go about making those first connections and kind of overcoming just maybe being isolated to being part of a community, being part of the industry here?
Well, I think with a small American community of musicians, a lot of the agents, they'll seek you out. They'll ask, new people, or they'll go out and they'll see you performing somewhere, and they'll seek you out.
Interesting.
Yeah, because they're always looking for
new voices, new maybe musical skills.
Right.
Very cool.
There's a demand.
There was.
It's changed.
It's changed quite a bit. Quite a bit, yeah. And especially after the pandemic situation.
Oh,
yeah.
Of course.
We came to a screeching halt, and we're still trying to get off the road.
Get out of it.
So.
Yeah, it's not that easy. I remember for a very short period of time, I was giving French lessons privately and to a Japanese person. That person was just as a hobby, writing a couple of songs and to play guitars and sing. And she would occasionally go to bars and something like that to perform in the evening. But this was before COVID, and then everything stopped, right? And so you mentioned that you go performing 5 nights a week in Kobe, so It seems to be back on track, so to say, but it's still not there where it was before in terms of the connection in the industry really picking up.
Yeah. Well, we're trying to plan a lot of events, and others are planning events too. But I think the mentality of people going out and going into venues or going out into crowds is still kind of reserved. You know, they're still reserved.
People are going out less than before.
Yeah.
Used to being more at home and watching things online.
Right. They've had 3 years to develop that.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
It's
to
going to take a while to undevelop it.
Right.
Online.
Yeah.
3 more years?
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
That's
Now-
when we'll pop the champagne. Huh?
You've been here for quite a while. You said about 20 years here around Japan.
Close, yeah.
Do you feel that Japanese culture or the Japanese musical scene has impacted your own musical writing, your own, maybe the kind of instruments you like to have in your songs, or the type of tempo, or I'm not sure, but has it impacted your writing at all, or do you feel like you're still true to maybe your roots back in the United States or the kind of music that you like to do?
Well, when I grew up in America, I grew up in a gospel family. My mom sang, she was in gospel choir. My sister was
Awesome.
in a gospel choir. I had 2 sisters. And then basically I ended up having to go to choir rehearsal with them because I was too young to stay at home by myself. And I ended up joining the gospel choir myself. So my background, my roots started in the gospel church. And then I aspired to playing guitar, playing piano, playing little drums, just picking up musical instruments. And then I had a friend who was a drummer, and we talked about going into DJ business. So that's what we did. And I did many college events, wedding parties and birthday parties, that kind of thing. And I happened to be in a club one day where I was DJing on a regular weekend basis. And there was a band there who was performing. And they had a sound man, and the sound man was getting ready to leave the band and go to another project he was working on. And the band asked me, you know, would you like to go on the road and be our sound man? And I said, well, maybe this is my opportunity.
Yeah.
So I said yes, and then we took off and went around.
One night in a club led to Japan.
Right.
Awesome.
It's funny how those connections,
isn't it?
transpire in our
And
lives.
I'm sure you mentioned that you've met some people that you looked up to for a while, but also many other people along the way through
Right.
the many places you've been.
Right.
Do you feel like now here in Japan you've gotten some opportunities that you may have not gotten back in the United States?
I would say yes. I mean, that is, I guess that's one of the novelties of being a foreigner going into, to a different country to where you're not a native, because people will seek you out because they have also dreams that they've seen on television of, I would like to do a project like this and find somebody like that, and you kind of match, their aspirations to what they're looking for. And that's how I met the director of this one movie that I did. He happened to be coming into the club, and we talked, and I said, hey, maybe he told me what he was doing. I said, maybe we can do a project one day. And he came back and said, hey, I'm working on this project. Can you help me? And it took off from there.
Similar with Fish and Rice, right? We met
You're exactly
there in the club,
yeah.
and we're
Yeah.
talking, and then maybe you would come to have this podcast with us. and hear you out.
Exactly. Yeah. That's another one. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Thank you.
always when you
Thank
least
you.
expect it, usually, right?
Right.
Throughout this time, we talked a little bit before starting to recording about Japanese language.
Yes.
And you mentioned to me that you're able to communicate and so on, but you're not at a professional level of Japanese. Has this ever been an issue here for doing what you want to do in music, or has it been an advantage on the other hand?
Well, I would think myself personally, I've never really had a situation on the music level, because a lot of the agents that I've worked with also speak English.
Oh, nice.
So it makes it very easy for the performers to be able to do their job, because it's a matter of A, B, C, and as long as you can fit into those boxes, your job is complete. Otherwise, when I'm in a situation to where there is very limited English for the other person, I will try to speak as much Japanese as I can, or Japanese and English, to mix the two.
Yeah, mix both and using the hands and
yeah.
You both want the same thing. You just want
Right,
to put on a
there you
good
go.
show, and you get there one way or the
Huddle
other.
up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is there one of those performances that is like particularly memorable for you that you're like, I will never forget that one night on stage, whether it's a big stage, small stage, or there's too many for now for you to pick one?
Well, let's see. When we did a launch of the movie Soul Man, and we had a rehearsal. We had a rehearsal before the event, which were all of the original songs that were in the movie, and most of the musicians did not speak English at all. So we had kind of a mismatch of trying to communicate, and I'm saying, okay, let's see what do I need to do here to get my point across or to get us on the same page. But it kind of worked out. It's just a matter of just backing off and saying, okay, let's go with the flow here. We're feeling each other, and that's
listen to the music.
Yeah, that's most important. We're feeling each other out here, and it's coming together.
And so that night was kind of like a good memory, just before the launch of a movie that you spent like many years working on.
That was quite interesting, yeah, because it was not a language there. It was not a language that could describe what we were going through.
Unless you'd consider music to be a language.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So
different kind of language.
Yeah, we just let the music do the talking. It's like, okay, let's back up here and let's let the music do the talking. Everybody knows their part, so yeah.
With many different styles of music, you mentioned you were doing DJ, but you came from gospel. The way people experience music when they listen to it is also very different. You might be like dancing in a club, you might be jumping up and down at a rock concert, or you might just be completely absorbed by a piece of classical music. I assume this is also very different culturally when you go to an event venue in the United States or Singapore or somewhere else, and here in Japan. Do you feel that when people come to attend your performances now in Kobe, for example, the way the audience interacts with the music is different from what you're used to in other places?
I would say my time in Asia has allowed me to adapt to more of a worldly kind of performance, to where you can look out in the audience and you can say, oh, those people are from Australia, those people are from Philippines, those people are from China, or these people are from Hong Kong. And you can pretty much decide, you can decipher just from the bag of tools that you carry around with you, the memories of what works and what doesn't work. So I could listen to music now, songs, and I could say, I could do that. That would work with my audience. That one wouldn't work. So it's more of a worldly view. As you're saying, I was in California, and I had to adapt. When I came to Asia, I had to adapt because I was always told that I was speaking too fast and people could not understand what I was saying. So it allowed me now to back up and say, okay,
slow down.
Yeah, let's look at everyone and not just you. So,
how about the music itself and the Japanese audience specifically? What do you see that they like in terms of the people that you are playing for? Is it a specific type of music? Are they more into listening to your music in the background while having a drink and chatting, or are they very engaged with your singing and your playing?
It depends.
Depends?
It depends. Yeah, it changes every night. But me, I'm just like a performer. I'll go out and I'll pull them on the dance floor. Hey, let's dance, And then they'll loosen up then because they're very shy, subdued. And so I would just go out and just feel out, introduce myself. How you doing? My name is from California. And what kind of music do you like? What would you like to hear? I'll normally ask those kind of questions before I start. And then I'll try to remember names. And that kind of gets people to
relax, loosen up.
Yeah, loosen up and also see that you're not overbearing and you're not someone who they should be afraid of. And it kind of makes the night go better for them because they remember. And a lot of them come back because of that.
Yeah, it's an experience for them too.
Yeah.
Do you have any specific venues, especially maybe in the Kobe area, that you like to play at or perform at?
Well, let's see. I haven't really performed at a lot of places. I've been mostly at the same venue, which is Garage Paradise in Sanomiya. But I did go to places like Chicken George, which is a really nice sound system there. There are a few other smaller venues, but there's not a lot of live entertainment anymore.
True.
Around. So we'll have to try and
Bring
that back. Yeah.
That's a collective effort, right? The owners from the bars, the people that go to the bars to want music, and the musicians themselves to all make it happen. As you said before, you are working on creating events, and I think more of that will lead to more live performances.
Yes. I have a event this month, and I have an event next month that I'm working on, which is both in actually Kobe.
Really
Sanomiya
nice.
area. Yeah.
All in Sanomiya area, downtown Kobe.
Yeah, which is Kitano Street, which is Cafe de Paris on the 27th. And I'm performing there with a very good singer from Tokyo who's coming down. Her name is Town. She's a female artist who's doing a lot of activity with the Ukraine embassy and also for the cause of Ukraine. So she's worth coming to see if you have time.
Well, you too, right?
Yeah, of course.
I think the whole performance will be very enjoyable for many.
Right.
Besides Town, have you been able to work together with other maybe major artists in Japan that, or maybe not necessarily Japanese, but major artists that you've been wanting to work with or that people may know?
It's ironic you say that, because when I was in Kagoshima, I met AI's mother. Ai's mother. Yes.
Okay.
And we became pretty good friends. And later on, when I went to Nagoya, I was actually asked to be one of her background vocalists in her concert tour, which actually went from, I think we were Nagoya, Kagoshima, Osaka, Tokyo. Yeah. So I actually was one of her background vocalists for her mini concert that she was doing.
Really cool.
Yes. And then Ursha came to Tokyo, and I was also background for one of his songs that it was a television
Event.
appearance. Yes, television appearance for Ursha. Which is an American artist, which I was like, okay, we gotta go.
Is this like a recurring thing now, that maybe as an established American musician here in Japan with connections, with experience, that when a foreign artist, or especially from the US or maybe Canada, come to Japan, they will maybe reach out to you to kind of be in the background to help make the process smoother for organizing their concert, or kind of all things related to performing here in Japan?
Sure.
Yeah.
If they're in this area.
I see.
A lot of them only are in the Tokyo area, so we don't get the call
Tokyo.
because of
Well, one day they'll realize that Osaka, Kobe is just better. Right?
Yeah. They'll put the two together.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of that's actually done in Tokyo, and we're hoping that it will come back to Osaka area.
Yeah. Have you been performing in Osaka City recently or before COVID?
Occasionally, yes.
What are the places, venues?
What was the venue called? I can't remember. Takara. I can't remember the venue at this point, the name, but it was Takara, I think it is. They actually have a K-pop group performing there most of the time. And we're doing another event there actually in August. I can't remember the name of it, but it's with Black and Radio, which is also in Osaka too, who actually is a promoter of that particular event.
So quite a few events coming up now.
Yes. My next big event is actually in Kobe, which is my 9-piece band that I'm doing.
9-piece
and I'll leave you some information.
Awesome. We will be happy to share them.
Yeah. I brought some posters. So
nice. We will hang them in the office, so maybe we can display this.
Come on out, yeah.
Removing this sound is going to be very lovely for the microphone.
It's good.
Yeah, it's a 9-piece band, and we are
Garage Paradise, Summer of Soul. That
Summer of Soul,
absolutely awesome, and we can see you as a vocalist.
Yes.
Awesome. Looking forward. I'll have to put this on my calendar. June 25th.
Yes, June 25th. Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, you'll get a chance to see. We have 2 vocalists here. One is American. One is from Japan here, And our 6 musicians here, one is from America, one is from Australia, and the rest are Osaka and also Kobe. So they're a dynamic band. I would recommend coming to see them.
Going back
they're worth
to
live.
the start of the discussion where you mentioned that in Japan, for example, they're very kind of technically focused on the music, whereas in the United States it's more like starting with the feeling, the idea, the sound, and now seeing this band coming together with people from all over the world and all these backgrounds, that makes like a really kind of unique music, right? That you can't find anywhere else.
Right.
It's just these people here performing at the event that will be able to make that kind of performance that one day.
Yes.
And never again.
Yes.
That's really awesome. Yeah. Would you, if someone would come or listen to this episode and comes to Japan in the hopes of perhaps starting a music career as well and maybe joining these kind of events in the band, what kind of advice would you maybe give them to establish themselves here, to kind of...
Well, I would say learn the language, learn the culture. You don't have to learn all of the language, but learn the culture and learn the mannerism, which is most important for people to start to trust you, start to believe you, and start to want to have a relationship with you. That's very important. I think being too aggressive kind of pushes people off.
Yes.
But being humble and being someone who is understanding of where they are and how the mannerism and how the culture works. I think that's probably the most important. That's the first step, I would say.
Yeah. Do you see any specific skill that is in demand, or is it more about the promoters might be looking for personalities? So, for example, would they be looking for? Are they more looking for people with deeper voices at the moment? Are they looking for skilled guitar players? Are they looking for people speaking specific languages, or is it more about just they're looking for talent like they would anywhere?
I noticed a lot of the agents are looking for people who just don't bring trouble.
Don't bring trouble.
That's
Just
everywhere
bring
like
good
that,
music.
I think. Any kind of business or...
Yeah.
They're looking for people who are not troublemakers. You know, that's more of the thing, because you want to basically be able to focus on the project and not the people.
So that's interesting, right? Because if we look at the show business from the outside, at least, especially in North America, a lot of the focus is usually on the artists themselves. And we do see a lot of drama around maybe major artists that take away from the music. And often we will remember them more from being in the tabloids rather than for which songs they actually create.
Yeah.
And here in Japan, you're saying that basically they put a strong emphasis on the music, the performance, the event, over who's actually performing at those events.
Yeah, I would say so.
So if you want to,
at least here in Japan, yes.
Yeah. So if you want to participate, think more about the music than yourself, and don't bring trouble.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, you go to another, especially America, they need drama to
That sells.
Yeah, it sells. Yeah, to bring people out. But this one, and here in Japan, it's like they prefer not to have the troublemakers, because they want to basically focus on everybody having a great time and not be deterred by someone's personal situation that is going to cloud that situation, cloud the event. Yeah.
So your focus is on soul music at the moment, is that correct?
Yes, for this particular event. We do other kinds of music as well. It depends on the setting that we're trying to create. A lot of the musicians here really love R&B music, so that's why we just focus.
Is this something that's in vogue in Japan, or not particularly?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, we have the niche markets of R&B or pop, or a lot of the 90s material, or the hip hop, rap, or techno. So, it may be the next project we could be doing just all hip hop music.
I'll be looking forward to that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It depends on the musicians. You normally let them decide, and the singers let them decide which genres we want to venture into.
So you're more flexible in terms of your skills and what you can perform, and adapt yourself.
Yeah. On my own solo show, I can pretty much have flexibility to do almost any music. Versus with a band, we have to learn the songs collectively, So that's a little different. You know, I can do 100 or 200, 300 songs, but we can only do 20 because we have to learn them all at the same time. So that's a big difference.
Do you have any dreams, personal dreams of maybe performing at a specific venue here in Japan or performing with a specific artist?
I'd like to do the Budokan.
Okay.
Budokan, yeah. Or the Osaka
Tokyo.
Dome.
Osaka Dome, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
On a solo show, would you like to perform with someone?
Oh, no. We'll just have a band. Yeah. A lot of artists, what they normally do is that they will tour around. If they're an American artist, they'll tour around and they will choose local musicians from the country that they're performing in and allow them to be the backing band.
Interesting.
Yeah, which is cheaper, and it's actually also gives the locals a chance to shine too as well.
Yeah,
I played with this person, that person.
Anyone you'd like to play with or for?
Well, I'm pretty flexible. I like all artists, because I do so many different songs, so I'm pretty flexible. People always ask me, what's your favorite song? I really don't have a favorite song because I do so many, But
depends on the mood, depends on the day.
Yeah. But I like, the artists and their creativity because I can learn something from each different artist. Yeah. So when I write my own songs, you were asking me about how do I go when I write my own songs. A lot of my songs, I also now look at it from an international point of view too as well, and not just a local or not just a country point of view.
To put different perspectives, different approaches into making one song.
Right, yeah. Versus just looking at, this has to be an R&B hip hop song. It can be a hip hop song, but I can incorporate other different, other different cultures or other different instruments into it now that I've been able to hear them or to play with people.
Is there anywhere where we can listen to your songs and performances? Maybe on YouTube or Spotify?
I have some things on YouTube. I don't have anything on Spotify yet. I'm working on my own songs now. So
releasing your first album?
Yes. I'm working on my own songs now finally.
Awesome.
So that, and when I do get it done, you'll be the first to know about that.
Super excited to listen to that.
But I'll send you my link to my movie, and you'll get a chance to hear a lot of those
Thank you very much.
In the movie. Yeah, from the soundtrack of that movie.
Thanks. Thank you very much for answering all the questions. Do you feel like there's maybe a question that you would have liked me to ask you that I haven't asked you, or something you'd like to talk that we haven't talked yet?
Well, we touched on the subject of language. My wife actually is an English teacher. When we met, she couldn't speak very much English.
So she's Japanese?
She's Japanese.
But an English teacher.
Yes,
okay.
But now she's an official English teacher. And I assist her with her English class. So I have an adult class that I'm teaching as well. So anyone out there who would like to learn English from me and how my personality, I'm willing to help them to further their studies, I guess you could say.
That's wonderful for everyone that listened to this and would like to improve English, maybe here in Japan. Yeah. Feel free to contact you as well.
Yeah. And as far as my time here in Japan, I would say that I learned a lot about myself too as well. You always have a spiritual awakening when you venture into territory that seems obscure, and you say, I'm wondering why I'm here or what is my purpose. And I would basically just say that my experiences here allow me to now look at other opportunities. I'm looking at politics. I'm writing my own movie script at this point. My songs that I'm working on, motivational speaking. So these are areas that I would not have ventured into had I not traveled outside of my own country.
Yeah, so
I would say
leaving your home, getting out of your comfort zone, kind of changed your perspectives and brought in new experiences to your life that kind of allowed you to look at things from a new way.
That's correct.
I think that's a good lesson to learn from your whole journey that led you through so many places.
Yes.
So thank you very much for sharing with us, Winz.
Thank you.
I think Andrew prepared a few more questions for us as usual.
Yes.
So we'll have to guess The answers.
The guessing game, also known as trivia questions.
Okay.
So you will both write down your best guess. The answer is a number. We have 3 questions. They are all about music or music-related questions in Japan or otherwise.
Okay.
Okay, the first one. How many records/albums did the Beatles sell worldwide? It's in millions.
The Beatles.
The Beatles, yes, the legendary.
I've been
How
told I
many-
look like John Lennon if I let my hair down and have my wrong glasses on.
Yeah, you're close. You're very close.
How many records/albums did the
I
Beatles sell
will say-
worldwide?
Okay, is that A, B, C, or just an answer?
No, it's just your guess. There is no ABC.
Okay, I think, let's see, they sold more than Elvis. So they should
That's correct.
They should be the number 1
Yes, that's
selling
correct
artist. I'd say close to 1 billion.
Okay. So what would be your final guess?
Let's see, if Michael Jackson sold, Thriller sold over 100 million, I think it was. That's just one. I would say 800 million.
Okay,
I
that's
have
your
600 million.
600 million. That's exactly correct.
600
How did
million.
you know?
I
Okay.
just guessed.
600 million
600 million.
sold
That's
worldwide.
a lot of albums sold.
Yes, they're
Probably
number
then
one.
if they would be releasing today with all the online streaming, it would be much lower. But
Yeah.
that's a number that's going to be hard to top.
Elvis was 500 million.
500 million.
Was second.
Okay.
Okay.
600 million.
600 million, yes. Okay, next question is about Japanese music. What percentage of global music market does Japan account for?
Oh,
What is the percentage? Just to give you a hint, it's the second biggest music market.
no way. I will have. Okay, I have to rethink this completely. Okay.
So what percentage of global music market Japan
All
is?
So America's first, Japan's second. I would say UK's third.
Correct.
If it's just by the numbers, I cannot. China
Numbers
must be
probably
big.
difficult. Percentage would be maybe easier to guess.
I would say it's less than 50%.
Yes.
I
We are talking like the world, all the countries are 100%, so America would be more than Japan, and then so it's broken down to probably very, very small pieces at the end, like 1% or 0.1%.
Well, America's probably definitely much larger than Japan, which is the first biggest market.
Yes.
Second would be Japan. So I would probably say if we're dealing with the rest of the world, it's probably 20%.
Okay.
I have 11%.
That's 20% exactly.
Wow. 20%, that's really big. I guess the population is big too, but because Japanese music, as opposed to American music, stays within Japan mostly, right? It's not something that exports so much. So I would have maybe even guessed that K-pop music, which has seen a world boom recently, might have been higher. But
Probably bigger.
not yet. Maybe in a few years.
I think you're probably it's probably based on spending power. I
On,
would imagine.
on sales, yes.
Spending
Sales
power, yeah. They have the income to
to
buy.
spend on
buy,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and our last question. I'm from Europe. You're also from Europe, so maybe it's a difficult question for you, tricky. There is a song contest called Eurovision.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Well, it just was last weekend, right?
Yes, right. So, how many times did that popular song contest take place until now? So, accounting for this year's one in 2023, it was in England. So, how many times, how many years was it held?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, it was in England, but it should have been in Ukraine, right?
It should have been in
Yeah.
Ukraine, but it was in England.
Eurovision.
Eurovision
Song
yes,
Contest.
Eurovision Song Contest was held for multiple times, and how many times was that?
Okay. When did it start? Or that would give.
That will
yes,
give the answer.
that would approximately give you an answer.
Okay. Eurovision. It's been around since the 90s.
You're trying to fish out the answer.
I would say longer.
Longer?
Yeah, it's been around for a
80s.
long time. I don't know the exact number, but I have a guess.
So that would mean close to 30 years.
So 30 times is your answer?
Now
Now it's 2023. If it's 80s, your math is a little bit wrong.
Well, let's see. You said 80s, right?
You said 80s.
Okay.
So what is the number? How many?
Well, that would mean it's older, but just giving a roundabout casual 40.
40.
40
Okay.
years.
I would say 71.
71. Okay, it's 67, including this
67.
year's. Yes.
67.
67 editions. Yeah, I read somewhere it was the biggest song contest in the world in terms of maybe viewership or so on, because it gained so much international traction recently. But
More recently, yeah, maybe last like 10 years, I think it became much more popular.
some very famous songs and bands are former winners. Wasn't I may say something completely wrong, but didn't ABBA?
Were
win
they?
this?
I think I've heard something about that.
Well,
So
so
maybe,
7 years, that would make them eligible, I would think.
yeah, probably 67 years ago.
Well,
that
recently, I
would
feel like it's become more a scene for making political statements through music a lot. And kind
Yeah.
of creative statements rather than just the music itself.
be- Yeah.
I also think that with social media, with the adoption of social media and how it's expanding, it allowed the platform to really expand in a short period of time.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
for sure.
I see that happening a lot with older projects that have now just getting a lot of mileage with the induction of social media.
And for sure, many more changes to come. So
Right.
that might be a great new topic to have you back here to talk about the
Sure,
impact of social
sure,
media on
sure.
music.
I'm going to research Eurovision
Yeah.
and see how I can actually get in there somehow, incorporate it in something, some way, somehow.
Thank you for the great questions. Thank you
Yeah.
for the great answers. And it was a real
Pleasure.
pleasure to have you here. Would love to have you back in the future.
Great, thank
This
you. I'd love
was
to come back.
today's episode of Fish and Rice Stories from Japan. We will be happy to have you back next week again. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Take care.